Scanning for audio.
Welcome to yet another Tin Dog podcast, reviewing more Big Finish. Well, it's what you're here for, isn't it? Rani Takes on the World 2, The Revenge of Wormwood. Now, this one is, I believe, let me just check notes. Yep, it's 3 stories long. On the front of the box, you've got Tommy Nightback as Luke Smith, and you've also got Samantha Bond as Mrs Wormwood, and the title of the box set is The Revenge of Wormwood. So we're kind of guessing that Wormwood's involved. Now, you know, because you've hung around with me for far too long, that during Sarah Jane Smith's broadcast on TV, I was a bigger fan of Sarah Jane Smith's adventures than I was of Doctor Who. I didn't hate Doctor Who, it's just Sarah Jane Smith captured the essence of what Doctor Who was for me, and I just enjoyed it a lot more. And it had cliffhangers that I didn't have to wait a week for, because, let's face it, you often had one episode, then the next one a few days later. It worked really well. I loved the pacing, I loved the moralisation, I loved all of it. And of course I loved Liz Slade, you know, she was just great. But all of the other characters were brilliant as well. They all fitted together beautifully. And it had K9. Never going to knock that one on the head. It just made me feel happy. Rani was great, Clyde was great, Luke was great, and it all just damn worked. Now, Wormwood is in the pilot with the other character. And will they be bringing her back? I mean, she was in kind of one of the other episodes. So you could have a flashback. If she's available, I'm sure you could have her in audio. I think it would work. It would just be a nice thing for fans. Right, so let's just go through the synopsis, because let's face it, this is the Sarah Jane Smith adventures without Sarah Jane, and everybody's now in their 30s, and it just works because they've grown up. And let's face it, they're the age I was when I was watching this, and now I'm 50 something. Oh, let's not think about that, shall we? Time Schisms by Lizbeth Myles. Podcast fan Anna thinks there's a time traveller working in her local post office. See how Sarah Jane Smith is at, it's lovely. So who else would ask her to investigate other than Rani Chandra? Unconvinced at first, Rani is shocked when an old friend warns her off. Luke. Unit don't want her looking into it. There must be something into the phenomenon, but will Rani's quest for the truth drive a wedge between her and Luke? Probably. Lizbeth's writing's really been going from strength to strength over these last few releases. She really grasps these characters and she goes with them and she makes them grow and evolve and work within their own characterizations. There's mentions of Luke's family, which of course we're going to get to experience in the future. Please let there be more of these box sets. Such a big fan. And I just love it. There are characters appearing in this who just work exquisitely well here. And yes, their existence here might mess up somebody else's narrative. Yes, and their existence here might mess up somebody else's narrative further on, but it won't. In fact, you could use these characters beautifully, possibly in some sort of mini spin-off that's a bit like the Arch. I'm getting ahead of myself. It was just great. It's nice to have Luke back, but it's great to have all of the characters interlocking and working together. Then you've got Star-Crossed Diversion by Alison Winter. It's an interesting one, this one. After falling asleep on the tube at night, Rani and Clyde wake up in a nightmare, a future in which the Bane have succeeded in taking over the Earth. The humans are docile cattle. The planet's resources are being sold to the highest bidder. Bane, Uncle Crispin, believes all opposition has been crushed, but the new arrivals are all ready to fight. Are they the last hope of the resistance? And how can Rani and Clyde ever return home? There's a lot going on about people being torn, about defending the planet. It's a lot of real world issues, but obviously dressed up in a sci-fi way, and that's what we're here for. That's what we've always been here for. And it's just beautifully constructed. And yes, you don't get time travel in the Sarah Jane, but you can push that envelope just a tiny bit, and that's what they've done here gorgeously. And then you've got The Ghosts of Bannerman Road by Jonathan Morris. Now, obviously there's been no mention of Wormwood in the synopsis so far, but she's on the box, so you kind of get an idea of what's going on and who might be behind stuff. 13 Bannerman Road, the place where it all began, where Rani, Clyde and Luke fought alien menaces with Sarah Jane. Now it's locked up, derelict, and under the watch of Unit. Hang on. No point in the audio does it say it's derelict. It says it needs a bit of TLC, but derelict makes it sound like everything's gone, and where is Mr. Smith? Where? I mean, I know the guy's off being pointless and the voice of Danger Mouse, but seriously, we could have him back for something, even if he comes back as a villain or something. Please, if that's alright. Moving on. I can live with K9 being in the other universe, or being whatever he's doing. I mean, he was patrolling a black hole for a whole season. Let it go. It's now locked up, derelict and under the watch of Unit because of top scientists mysteriously disappearing and items of alien technology being stolen from laboratories. An old friend is planning to make her return, and Rani and Clyde have to face their own ghosts. This is the big Wormwood storyline, and it works. It's really well done. It was so nice to have Samantha Bond back, and I am just glad that A, this series exists, and B, this series is so damn good. The writers have really genuinely captured the ethos of the original while still managing to move on 15 years. Well done, Big Finish. Seriously. No, here's the trailer. Listen for yourself. And until next time, be seeing you.
If there's something weird in your neighbourhood, who you gonna call?
The worlds of Doctor Who. Rani Takes on the World. The Revenge of Wormwood.
Luke? Oh, it's you two. Kalani.
Oh, that needs to stop.
Who are you? What do you want?
My name's Rani Chandra. I investigate the unusual or the unexplained.
Unhand me! Who are you? Where am I?
Ealing East? Since when was there an Ealing East?
This is another fine mess you've got me into.
A new high score and W star. Sensational achievement.
Time travel, alien invasion, mind control.
Feeling nostalgic?
Oh yeah, can't wait to find out who's trying to kill us.
Maximum kindness.
No! Samira? No!
Where am I?
Oh, my darling boy. My greatest creation. How you've grown.
Sergeant Nkosi, declare a Code 1 alert. The Black Archive has been breached.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here.
Well, of course not. I'm trapped in a time vortex.
Wormwood, the Black Archive, the Tunguska Scroll, the Funfair, Eve, the wedding, the Doctor, the TARDIS,
Evil Mona Lisa.
Erasmus Darkening.
It's just like old times, isn't it? The three of us in the attic of Bannerman Road.
Rani takes on the world. I'll tell you what, I don't fancy the world's chances much.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.